Let's start off with the stem and leaf. Usually they give you two sets of data. In this case, it's Brownlee and Rogate, and you have to write the values in ascending of the respective data. Once you finish the stem and leaf, do make a key because you get a mark for that, and you have to write them out what the key means. Now, usually they ask you on the median. The median you do is simply half times the total number of values. And if you get a decimal, you find the average between the two values. So in this case, it was 7.5. So I find the average of the 7th and 8th value. With the interquartile range, you find lower quartile, so you do 1 over 4 times 15, and you do the same thing like you did with the median. And then you would calculate the upper quartile, and the upper quartile will be 3 over 4 times the value, and you find the average between the two values. In this case, it was 11 and 12, so you get 28 plus 32, giving us 30. Now, interquartile range is upper quartile minus lower quartile, giving an answer of 16.5. Let's move on to the box and whisker, which is a bit more easier. So we have the minimum point, lower quartile, upper quartile, median, and maximum. Now coming to cumulative frequency. For cumulative frequency, on the y-axis we have the cumulative frequency, and x-axis in this case time taken. So simply you have to plot up the points and then you make your curve as smooth as possible. Let's now go to histograms. For the histograms, you'll need to know how to calculate frequency density, which is frequency over class width. You need to also ensure that the data is in a sequence, so that is what I'm doing right now. Once that is in order, you can calculate the class width by doing frequency over the height. And once you do that, you can write all your values down, and now you have every value you need. To draw the histogram, you need on the y-axis the class width, and the x-axis in this case the height. And then now you simply have to just draw it out, and that is how you draw the histogram. And now to calculate the mean, you have to find the median and you have to multiply it with the frequency. And then finally, after you find all your medians, you multiply it with frequency and you divide with the total number. If two events A and B are independent, then the probability of happening of both A and B is this. Let's have a look at mean and variance. In this case, we have to find the value of k. So you open the brackets and then you find with the mean and the total number, you can find ex. So in this case, the value of ex will be 1515. And then 1515 minus 30n is equals to 315. You can solve for n, and that is your value for k, which is 40. Coming to permutations and combinations, if they tell you to group something together, you count it as one unit just like this. The next case is when usually they tell you two letters are not next to each other. So in this case, you write down all the letters that are except the two L's in this case. Then you count down each of the letters. So I count down all letters, and here it's 7. And because E is repeating 3 times, I will do 3 factorial. Then I count all the spaces that I've left. And in this case, all the spaces that I've left is 8. And I'll do 8 times 7 over 2 factorial because L repeats twice. The next scenario is when you want to choose something from a group of people. If they tell you to choose 2 slots from a group of 5 people, you do 5 choose 2. And when you want to arrange, you use the NPR formula. With probability, they could ask you for a tree diagram, and I'm hoping you guys already know how to do this, so this is how you do it. The next probability question is the probability distribution table, which shows the outcome of x and they all equals to 1. Let's now go on to the distributions, and we start off with binomial distribution. This is when they specify the number of trials, and this is the formula. In this question, it says 10 times the success is 1 out of 6, failure is 5 out of 6. Now using the formula, you find the probability of 3, 4, and 5, and you can get your answer. Coming to geometric distribution, this is when usually the keyword is they say until a certain something is obtained. This is the formula, and whereby this is the failure and success. In this question, the success is 1 out of 6, the failure is 5 out of 6, and that means you can fail 8 times. So using the formula, you can get your answer, which is 0.233. Now moving to the normal distribution, which is easy to spot because they give you the mean and the standard deviation and a value of x. Using the formula, you can then find the answer, and using phi, you can go to the distribution table to find the probability. Finally, these are all the formulas that you need to know for all distributions: mean, standard deviation, mean and variance. So you can pause the video and have a look at this right now.